YouTube, hello. In this video, we will attempt to prove that Bigfoot is real and he is married to the Loch Ness Monster. All, of course, are deep lore details in the City Skylines II video game created by Colossal Order. YouTube, hello, good day. Myself and my friendly Twitch chat, who are all so kind and unbelievable and real swell. We're going through the dev diary that was just released today on the 3rd of July, all about public and cargo transportation. Let's go over it. I have notes. And opinionated. They're a little bit opinionated. Hey, subscribe to the channel, I'm telling you now, which is the worst. Here we go. Have you guys seen this? Dev diary number 3, public and cargo transportation. We will also go through the video that was released with this after the dev diary stuff, because I find the dev diary stuff, hey Papa Bear, the dev diary stuff seems to be tending to whatever, us keeners, us folks probably who have played City Skylines 1 and like really want the deets. And then the video seems to be really appealing to folks who are new and trying to like get new people in from the outside. So we'll look at that afterwards. All right, so I have my notes. My writing is so crystal clear that I'll be able to read this no problem. Give me the deets, boy, free my soul. I wanna play with public and cargo transportation. Wow, Joe, we just did that. All right, so hey everyone, welcome back to another City Skylines 2 development diary. Today we're looking at public and cargo transportation options. I'm gonna mention later probably, but I'm gonna mention it now as well. I feel like they are really, like the fact that they're talking a lot about it being public and cargo transportation options. They're not just saying like transit options or transportation options in general. Like, I don't know, they just seem to be emphasizing the cargo part existing as well. I don't know if that's me making things up, but I feel like it's there. Let's see. So it mentions in these paragraphs, my notes are like page per page, and this is page 1 here. It mentions in these paragraphs, bus, taxi, metro, tram, train, and airplane. Do we suspect that this is a definitive list of everything that's available at release? I would guess probably, right? I don't know, like in the screenshots, we've seen these and I don't see any reason for them to hold back on anything else, is my guess. Yeah, you know, Todd, that's a point. That's a point. Maybe that's, especially with this being like the dev diary calling out to us keeners who have played City Skylines 1, I can see them wanting to emphasize maybe that cargo is handled delightfully. In the sequel, for sure. They have mentioned somewhere here, buses use road connections, blah, blah, blah. Blah, blah, blah. Wait, what do I have here? Oh my goodness, this is harder to do when I'm chatting with you guys. Oh yeah, right here, large train stations. They mention a few times how large the train stuff is, and that excites me. I think in CS1, for stuff that was like, you know what though, even stuff that's DLCs, like the biggest DLC stuff we got was the stadiums. But generally, all the buildings felt kind of small when you talk about scale, even from someone who doesn't really care about realism, just like the difference. Have a little bit of variety in your city. They're mentioning a lot of really big stuff, and I love that. I'm very excited about that. Let's see. I've got it written down that I'm glad they didn't drop intercity buses. Colossal Order is not skimping out on us. And I guess that's in reference to this sentence here. So they could have just left it as like trains, ships, and airplanes doing the intercity stuff, because that's the way that it was, I think, in the base game of Cities 1, right? And it was only later with one of the DLCs, I forget which one, it brought in the intercity buses. So it's just another demonstration that they are not doing the thing that so many people were afraid of, and they're not like pulling back all of the DLCs and then gonna resell them to you. I think it was Sunset Harbor, specifically the intercity buses, that one that you could plop and it brings in people from other. Yeah, they're definitely doing things in a way that makes me happy, I think, right? I think it is Sunset Harbor, what I'm thinking of anyways. So that's page 1. It's an intro. Page 2, public transport types. Ooh, what have I got here? So, buses unlock first and form the backbone of the city's public transport network in the early game. Nice, Todd, well done. So the profitability is a question that I have a little bit later. But yes, I am curious if it's going to be profitable. I've never really been able to get a profitable city in CS1, and I feel like it was kind of a rarity to see transit be profitable. But we'll get to that for sure. It talks about, so this is just stuff that we already know. This is pretty well how City Skylines 1 work. They require the bus depot, and they come in 2 flavors, and I'm really sad that they're spelling everything, quote, incorrectly. But they have fuel-operated buses and environmentally friendly electric buses. So it sounds like what we used to have as biofuel is now electric. Excuse me. I'm curious, I've got it written, what the downside of electric buses is going to be. I would assume it's a higher cost, right? But they don't really talk about that here. They do mention, yes, right here, intercity buses can stop at the bus station, or they can drop off and pick up passengers from 1 or more regular bus stops. So your intercity bus doesn't have to go to the bus station like it did in CS1. You can actually make it go to a bus stop, which I think is really going to be fun for things like tourism. If there's still like big touristy spots, like unique buildings or stadiums or whatever, or even just to have like I don't know, 4 places where your passengers, where your sims can come into the city via the buses, just so that they're like spread out or whatever. I think that's really exciting. And to me, what I've tried to provide with these like dev diary insights, I guess, is to me that shows that they are still evolving ideas. So they could have just brought over intercity buses straight from CS1, right? But they didn't. They've added to it with the ability to give them somewhere else to be dropped off. I like it. I like it a lot. They have down here, place either a bus stop sign or shelter on a road. So that makes sense. You can have either a bus stop sign or a shelter. That's just like what I'm familiar with out here in the world. I'm wondering if there's going to be a gameplay technical point that will be one is better, one is less better. Are they going to prefer to go to places with shelters? If there's as much of a normal distance between bus stops that there would be, is the shelter really going to be enough of a benefit to bring them like down a bus stop rather than just going to this one? The people who are waiting to get on the bus, I mean. I just thought it was interesting that they specified that you can do both. Maybe with weather. Right, weather makes sense. Oh, Jay! Oh no! We're interrupting this broadcast to point out Jay's chat down there. I just had a sad thought uninstalling City Skylines 1. I mean, the storage space on my drive is going to be pretty happy about it, but hello Goldie, good day. And make sure there's a very riddling or confusing bus schedule posted on the bus sign or shelter, absolutely. Then we get into talking about taxis. So people coming in can use taxi, and if they don't have their own personal vehicle, where it says that somewhere here. Wait, am I getting ahead of myself? Am I getting ahead of myself? Da 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 da. Oh yes, it says it right here, who don't have their own personal vehicle. So is that like a permanent thing? Are they never going to have their own personal vehicle? Are they going to then like come into your city without one and then purchase one? Or does that person just never have one and then they always use transit? I think that's really, really cool. I love that we will have some sort of public transit from the very beginning, even if we can't really manipulate it like the taxis. I feel like it brings a little bit of variety in the early stages. And similar to Azwark, I am also curious how taxis are going to be in City Skylines 2. I feel like they're featuring it, not heavily, but like they're featuring it, right? They're making a point to talk about it. And I feel like taxis weren't ever really talked about in CS1. Maybe that's because for the longest time they didn't stop at their stands and that was only fixed within the last couple of months. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they're talking about taxis a lot. So we could zoom in on this picture. Can we? Yep. Nothing like super duper exciting here, right? That looks like a bus shelter. The Sims look really cool. We got some crop tops happening. Just really pretty. Oh, is that Pride stuff? I don't know if that's intentional, but it's great. I love it. Can I bribe my Sims to never bring a personal vehicle, right? Well, you know, it sounds like you can. It actually sounds like you can because you get to make the public transit so enticing, you know, with low ticket prices or having no parking at all or that sort of thing. That sort of thing. All right, so page 3. Yes, Joe, I really agree with that statement. I do, from what we've seen so far, I do really like the balance that they've demonstrated with the realism and the not like hyper realism that would just make it meh. You know, if I want realism, I'm gonna go touch grass. And sometimes I don't want to touch grass. Sometimes I want to just play a video game, right? There's a cat at my feet. All right, page 3. So in this paragraph here, they describe 3 upgrades. That's a good point too, Azwark. Realism graphics can age fairly poorly. That's a great point. They describe 3 different upgrades here. So with the dispatch center upgrade, the electric taxis upgrade, it sounds like. Oh yes, upgrading the taxi depot to support electric taxis. Hello, Alana. And they had one other one listed here somewhere. Oh, and then, oh, I had it. I'm nervous. I'm nervous because I'm live. Friend, please, please. I don't know. They had a 3rd one. Anyways, they talk about 3 different upgrades in there, which is terrifying. Not terrifying, great. It's cool. Modularity and like being able to upgrade depending on what you need more at the time is fantastic. They continue to talk about, I love how big the rail yard and trains sound. We've already talked about that. Yes, trains carry large amounts of passengers and cargo while their infrastructure size makes them better suited for intercity transport. They can be used locally as well. So it sounds like they're ginormous. And if you want to use them locally, you're going to have twice the ginormousness to deal with. So makes sense. And then we get to what I was talking about before. So they require tracks to run on and a train infrastructure is a high initial expense, but it then goes on to say they more than make up for the initial cost over time. That sentence right there is what makes me wonder if transit is going to potentially be profitable. In CS1, it was pretty rare to be making money off of your public transit, but them saying they more than make up for the initial cost over time is pretty rad. I know in CS1, like when you open up the economy tab, you almost never get the transit income to be a positive number, right? But it does bring benefit in other ways. It brings benefit in getting your cargo to where it needs to go faster, your Sims to work faster, and that sort of thing. So maybe that's what they mean here, but I think it would be really cool if you could kind of play the evil mayor who owns the cab company and therefore makes his cab prices crazy, and then you make money off the cabs or something, right? So I'm curious kind of why they pointed that out. So yeah, Zin, yeah. What else do I have for this page? Oh, and then I've just written down that it feels like they are not afraid, like Colossal Order feels like they're not afraid to implement transit that has downsides to it, which makes them like more difficult to utilize, which it's showing that it's potentially a good spot to bring challenge into the game. City Skylines 1, once you figure out how to go from 0 to Megalopolis, it's a pretty easy game, right? Talking gameplay wise. And it sounds like they've got some bits in little various places that are bringing challenge to it, and having a giant infrastructure size, like having a giant rail yard, having like laying out the infrastructure costing so much money, that sort of thing. Having the public transit bits be a little bit more difficult is a great way of bringing challenge to the game. Very excited about that. All right, page 4 of 16. Also, can we just talk about that really quick? The first dev diary was how many pages? Less than 16, fewer than 16. The second dev diary was also fewer than 16. And this one's 16 pages. Public transit. It's very exciting. So I'm excited. I don't know. I think they might be passionate about this game, eh? I think they might be enjoying what they're doing. So obviously the image here is like stunning. We've got some, do you call that FOV stuff? Where this is in focus and then the area around it is not. I wonder how many of these screenshots are taken with, they have one of the dev diaries, I think the last dev diary is on photo mode. So I wonder if all of these are taken using that, or are these just like regular video game camera, or they talk about cargo transit, Jay. Yes. But yeah, these are beautiful. Like, look at, you can kind of like, hold on, I can't zoom in anymore. You can almost see a room in there. Like, it looks beautiful. It looks stunning. These are great. These are lovely. I love this game already. You know? Yes, exactly what Azark said. Less so zoning, or like really no zoning, but yes, transit. Right, Nash? Yeah, they are beautiful. I feel like they're, at the very least, they're representative of what we're gonna see while we're playing. Like, I can't see them, it's not like they took this in the engine rather than in gameplay, or whatever those words are. Yes. I wholeheartedly agree with what Joe said, yeah. Yes, Renash, for sure. Okay, page 4. Oh yeah. So this list here is worded a little bit funny, but I think it's just worded funny. So they allow you to create two-way and double tracks, as well as one-way train tracks, elevated tracks, bridges, tunnels, da-da-da-da-da. So like it's kind of worded as you can only get all this stuff if it's one way. But I think, like, I don't know, maybe. But if I was a gambling man, that wouldn't be the way that it is. I would suspect that it's just worded a little grammatically oddly. So I don't know, just want to point that out. I hope that it's not that way. I hope that you can also get two-way and double elevated bridges, tunnels, cut and fill. Oh, yes. Where did we go? Yes. Does anybody in chat see the hype of this? I'm not a huge transportation nerd, right? So I find hype in what other people get excited about. And I remember seeing a whole lot of chatter about people hoping that trams, for example, can go forward and back, and like can go backwards as well. And this sounds like that is it, because it says all other rail transport. So train obviously is rail. I would assume tram and metro are rail, right? Because that, oh, my dog's like, he's having snoozy noises. He's really distracting me. He's boofing. But, oh, you can kind of see him boofing over there. Anyways, I'm getting distracted by the dog. But I think that's what that means. And I think if that is what that means, it is incredibly exciting for people who do geek out about transportation. Yeah, they talk about switchbacks. And thus they can utilize track switches. Is a track switch the same thing as a switchback? Can you, Goldie? That's awesome. So yeah, very exciting. Very, very exciting stuff. I like here, it says stations also feature pre-built tracks, which create track switches automatically when tracks are connected to them, regardless of track type. I like that sentence because that sentence sounds user-friendly for someone like me who's learning transit things. I did not come into City Skylines being a city geek or a transit geek or anything like that, so I'm learning it through cities, and so this sounds like I'm not going to be at an incredible disadvantage trying to figure out how this stuff works when I'm placing the stuff. Also, down here, it says additional platforms and connected to other forms of public transportation. So when they say connected to other forms of public transportation, do they mean like actually having a train station that also has metro in it? Or do they just mean we've placed a metro nearby and they work well together? I don't know the answer to that question, but I'm asking that question. Curious what they mean there. Curious what they mean there. You need switches for a switchback track, but they're not the same. Got it. Understood. Understood. Cool. But yeah. You can see a train station with metro. Where? I assume you can connect tram and bus lines to the station adjacent. In the video. Oh, okay, we'll get to the video. We'll get to the video. All right, page 5. So one thing that I noticed here is that there is like lots of little solar in the picture. There's so many buildings with like wee little bits of solar. Is that? No, that looks like maybe just a vent. But there's lots of little solar on these buildings. I wonder if like that is representative of their levels, if they still have levels, or is it just some buildings have them, some don't. I don't know. It seemed like there's a lot of them in this picture. Hello, G-Money, good day. Multi-platform station, which has one platform dedicated. Yes, it would be rad. Enjoy, Renash. I hope you're well. Okay, so, oh, they talk about tram. Everything that they say in this paragraph is kind of like, yeah, that's trams. Good. So, yeah, we already know this part is exciting. The fact that you can just add trams to the roads that already exist. That is very exciting, but we already knew it. So, you know, old news. And then the rest of this I've written down in my little cheat sheet. Tram good. So it's very exciting. Very, very exciting. Oh yes, same thing down here. Everything that they've written here, I feel like we kind of already knew, right? The initial cost of a tram is higher than buses, but the upside is that trams are quiet and do not pollute the air. Great, love it. I love that they've got different pluses and minuses and that sort of thing. You know? However, going into metro, subway, I don't know which one I'm going to keep calling it. I think I'm going to keep flip-flopping them back and forth, but subway. And somebody, anyways, I will not make the food subway jokes. What have I got written down here? Mention subway good for peeps who want speed. Shown may need variety to appease. Oh yes, I understand. My writing is atrocious. Good question, Aswark. I don't know. Elevated tracks, elevated road. Yeah, I don't know. But they talk about here that it's a metro, subway, is a popular transit choice for many citizens who value their time when making pathfinding calculations. And was it the previous dev diary where they talked about there's like the 4 different things that matter to our Sims when they're deciding how they're going to get somewhere. One of those things is speed. And the fact that they bring up that speed preferring citizens are going to enjoy Subway make me think that there may be Sims that have other preferences that will prefer other methods of transit. And that's going to be big for players like me, because when I'm feeling lazy in building a city right now in City Skylines 1, I just use Metro. It's so easy, especially if you do them all underground. You just do some loops, you do a line, and it's like good. And it just functions in your city, it works. It carries thousands of passengers. But if we have Sims who kind of are going to not love Metro, maybe that's a way of them encouraging various transit usage together, which I love. I love that very much. Zin, they have different preferences. I don't know if you've seen the previous dev diary, but some Sims do prefer speed. But for example, teenagers, it said, prefer the option that will cost them the least because they're poor. So we'll see. Maybe, I mean, I don't love going to the Metro. As Ark, I don't love going, I mean, not that I take the Metro very often. We don't have it here, but if I'm in Toronto, I certainly avoid it because it is dank and it's awful. Yeah. Yeah, it's curious. I'm curious. All right, we are on page 6. Same deer. I also don't have it close to me. So another very pretty picture, of course. One thing that I've seen folks mention that I kind of agree with, and I know that, like, I'm kind of a keener, right? I love City Skylines. I love Colossal Order. I kind of am a little bit of a kiss ass, but it is genuine. Like, I do love these games and I am so excited. But just to prove that I'm capable of critique, this Metro, having the fence, I could understand the 2 fences back here, those, sure, but having the fence along this sidewalk is a bit of a shame. I want to be able to like walk out there and go here, you know, rather than like scooch all the way around here and go all the way around here. So it's a bit of a shame. You know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, at least it's not just a hole in the ground. I mean, fair, true. Just jump the fence for sure. I would die if I attempted that personally. But yeah, do we really have a good grasp on how big of an asset that is here? I guess. I mean, I guess we have an intersection for comparison's sake, and it's almost as big as it, if not maybe a little bit bigger. But yeah, that's a point, eh, Joe? I guess it could be like it could have just been this little guy. And then we could just scooch it right in there. Kind of like the metro station that comes with the Railroads of Japan pack in CS1 that doesn't work. So, yeah. That would be really cool, Renash. I love that idea. I love that idea quite a bit. Having transit be in like an RCI building. Really interesting concept. Maybe if they offered it just with commercial or office, of course, but like just commercial, yeah. Super interesting. What else do I have on page 6? Oh, yeah. So this right here is new. I'm like a 12 by 12 right now, gang. So Metro Yard, Subway Yard is new. We previously did not need this, and our trains just came out of the magical world of Metro. But now it sounds like you have to put down the yard and probably, I would assume, connect it to your Metro lines. I think depots for everything is awesome too. I agree. It brings, again, another little bit of challenge, especially if they're really large. And this page does not mention if they're going to be above or below ground, right? Like our Metro section ends here, and nowhere here it talks about is the subway yard going to be above or below ground? And if it's only, for example, above ground, but you want to use Metro below ground, that's going to be like a thing that you have to figure out, which I think is awesome. I love that. And the train depots, yeah. The trains need somewhere to sleep at night, for sure. For sure, for sure. So I think that's good. I'm happy with that change. And then, one sec. Enjoy, Red Mage. Enjoy, Renash. What else do I have here? Oh, and so trying to kind of like read between the lines a little bit of the dev diary. I think them not mentioning whether or not the subway yard is above or below ground shows us that they're not afraid to like hold back a little bit of information. So what else are they holding back? What else are they not telling us? And I say that in a good way. I say that in a, I'm excited for, we've just had these like, how many dev diaries are they doing? And then we go to open up the game and we just think that we know everything and then we don't. I'm very excited about that. I'm just very excited. I'm very, very excited. I'm gonna have a wee sip of water. Gang, if you're watching the video or in the stream, have a sip of water. It's good for you. Yeah, all right. Oh, and then on my little sheet of notes, I've written that harbors and boats is just generally a thumbs up. This is pretty similar to CS1. The only thing that, is it mentioned here? Ships transport a high number of passengers. Cool, great. Yeah, that's fine. That's all the same. I don't have water. Well, yeah, Goldie. I'm stoked. I'm very excited. All right, moving on. Page 7. Oh, this, the international airport being the size of a small town. I think they also say those exact same words in the video that we'll watch at the end. That's kind of fun, you know. That is a good looking boat. That is a good looking boat. I wonder if the boat color is the line color or are they just random? Was it, Todd? Are you going to be here to share? Because I'm very curious. I'm very curious. But yeah, they're very excited about the size of the airport. Lots of traffic from the airport. That's fantastic. But here is my big takeaway from this page. Airports limit the height of buildings in the landing and takeoff zones to avoid collisions. That is delightful. Oh, excellent, Todd. Excellent. And then does it say, yes, when placing an airport, you can see the projected landing and takeoff zones at the ends of the building, giving you an approximation of where limitations to zoned building heights are applied. So we mentioned earlier the balance between like cartoony and realism, right? And one of the things that I felt, because I have never been fussed about realism, and I've always actually kind of like enjoyed cartoony stuff a bit. But one of the things that did pull me out of the game and make me go, meh, with CS1 was when you've got like the IT offices or something immediately next to an airport and the plane quite literally flies through it. So this here tells me that CO knows that that happens and knows that it potentially can like take you out of the game a bit. And they're bringing in what sounds like a really user-friendly way of dealing with that and making that not happen and making it so that, because it sounds like you don't have to, like it sounds like you don't have to watch the height of the building. It sounds like if you build in that area, yeah, it just says R applied. It sounds like if you build in that area, it will just apply the height restriction for you. And so that's really user-friendly to make it like not make you go, ugh, gross, playing through building. So I love that. Thank you. You're great. Colossal Order, you're a darling. You're a darling. Let's see. So the airports are connected to the outside connections with the line tool, and the airplanes start traveling on the lines once they are created. So that sounds like we have to make that happen. Yeah, I'm curious if it won't let you, Azuark. That'll be something to test. That'll be some science to do. I wonder if it will let you do that or not. But it sounds like we make the Oh, I'm so sorry. Sounds like we make the connections to the outside ourselves. And I mentioned this in the previous dev diary where it said that we could create our own outside connections with roads. Thanks, Nash. It sounds like this similarly gives us a little bit more freedom of uniqueness. So even though Joe and I start on the same map, and we both put airports down, you know, I might connect to that outside connection with my airplanes, but he might connect to that one. And it just, I don't know, it just brings a little bit of variety, which offers potentially some replayability, which going through this, I think replayability is something they're going for. Hello, Lang, good day. Hello, good day. How are you? We're going through the dev diary today. So this was interesting. Once a cargo train, so JBMF if you're here, once a cargo train terminal is built, companies can use it as a storage point for incoming and outgoing cargo. I'm well, thanks, Lang. I'm good. I'm very excited for CS2. Changing the outside connections for airports means changing the height restriction zones, you bet. That, good sir, is an excellent observation. Would it be relevant to that, or would it be relevant to where they take off and depart? Or both? Does one affect the other? Really cool. Really, really cool. So once a train cargo is built, they can use it as storage. So it kind of sounds similar to CS1, which is great. But different in that, is this train? Is they're talking about train here, or are they talking about boat? This sounds like train. So train comes in from the outside world, brings cargo in. It's not just going to like, maybe, right? It's not just gonna immediately spawn a million trucks. It sounds like train can come in and trucks can come in and get the stuff at a later time. So it's not like always one similar process, which is really cool. But it does sound like a potential traffic nightmare, which is good. That's a challenge. Yes, and then it sounds like they're being used as warehouses. And the no cargo lines, I've got cargo lines written on my thing here as well. Oh yeah, right here. Even with no cargo lines, companies ordering resources can use the train station's storage facilities to drop off and pick up resources and goods. So I would guess cargo lines probably has to do with you exporting, and maybe storage is importing, but I feel like both could be both. But either way, having a cargo line the same way that you have a passenger line gives us potentially more control. And if you've got like this giant city, being able to have cargo lines between the two places is really cool. I feel like the cargo terminal won't have rail lines by default. I'd be curious about that. I feel like we see some of them plopped in the video or in pictures or something. I don't know, maybe. Todd, can you expand on your takeaway? Was it about having the cargo lines? Modular upgrade, right. Modular upgrades are a thing. They are a thing. So, quite possibly. So you think that having the terminal, the first plopping, will basically kind of like just be a warehouse? But then how does it get goods to it? I don't know. The lack of truck vomit. Yeah, I'm really curious. Trucks. Right. Maybe. I love that. I love that train of thought. Get it? Train of thought. Gosh, I'm so funny. Golly gee, is this page 8? I can't tell. I think this is page 8. Yes. Okay. Let me just have another sip of water. So, where are we here? To start receiving cargo trains, yeah, see, it's got these doobers, right? You will need to set up a cargo train line similar to how passenger train lines work. Trains then haul resources from outside connections to the terminal where they are stored until local delivery trucks pick them up for distribution within the city. Similarly, companies send their goods to the terminal as it is cheaper and faster to ship goods on trains than to haul them to the outside connections by trucks. So fun. As in, oh no. Oh no. Was it? Oh, was it the airplane bing bong? Yeah, I missed it. I didn't hear it. I'm so sorry. So that sounds not super different than City Skylines 1. Like I said before, it sounds very similar to CS1. It just sounds like they're not always happening at the exact same time. Because in CS1, it's trains come, trucks go. Trucks come, trains go. It's like immediate, but it sounds like there could be some delay between it. This just looks great. A little water tower in the back. That's fantastic. That building looks neat. Love the trees. Looks cool. This. I want to know what those words mean. So therefore, it is crucial to prioritize the road connections. So do they mean that just in a way of like, you build the road layout well and you prioritize being able to get there? Or is there a game mechanic called prioritizing road connections? I don't know the answer to that question, but it's a question that I have asked out loud now. And then this 1,000 tons they talk about that cargo ships can carry. I love that they tell us 1,000 tons here, but they don't tell us how many tons anything else can carry for like relevance. And I would guess, I'm sure there's a real world equivalent maybe that is similar to what it is out there in the real world, but I am a hoser who doesn't know how much cargo a train can ship in the real world. I just, sure, be hype about your 1,000 tons, but please also tell me how many tons a train can carry or a truck so that I can have some perspective. You goobers. You goobers. 1,000 tons is a train. Yeah. Over the road haulers are about 16 tons. Oh, that sounds like a sea shanty, Joe. You think prioritizing road connections may hint back to the cargo lines? Maybe. Oh, Warner, that's actually really helpful. Airplane stuff makes things go well in my brain. I don't know. Interesting. So quite a few of them. But like a road shanty, yes. And then I've got written down ship and train combo suite. Ah, yes. Furthermore, the cargo harbor can be enhanced with a railway connection, allowing trains to transport cargo directly to and from the harbor. Great. That's a thing in CS1. I'm happy it's a thing in CS2. Delightful. Delightful, delightful. All right, page 9. Gang, I remember when I got into detailing in City Skylines 1, some of the first things that I ever detailed were like train yards like this, plopping down bunches and bunches and bunches of these tin container dubers. Forget what they're called, but it's fantastic. Interesting, Zin. Interesting. Cool. Okay. So yeah, that's just a gorgeous screenshot. It's just beautiful. It's just so nice. Joe. Yeah, I don't know. It's just great. It's so wonderful. And then it talks about the cargo transport via the air. And the only real takeaway that I get from this is that it says cargo transport becomes available when the airport is upgraded with a cargo terminal. So that right there tells me that there is not a cargo only airplane place, also known as an airport. I think it sounds like you kind of have to have a regular airport and then you can upgrade it with a cargo terminal. I don't know if you're able to upgrade it with a cargo terminal and then somehow turn the passengers off. I don't know, but something to note anyways. Moving on to page 9, we're more than halfway there. Have another sip of water. because I've been yammering away. Hey, YouTube, if you're watching and you've made it this far, leave a comment in the comments section and let me know. This is your secret. If you did it, if you're here, you and me, we're connected now. And leave a comment and let me know that we're connected. Thanks, YouTube. I think you're great. Hello, Ras. Hello, good day. Water's good for you. Okay, so this is, this is page 10, my bad. Is that right? Page 10. New gameplay with transportation lines. In City Skylines, only buses, taxis, and trams had depots. Trains and subways spawned, blah, blah, blah. So we know that now everything needs a depot. That is delightful. And kind of all of this, my takeaway from like all of this first hunk of it is that there is more in City Skylines 2. It sounds like there is more actual gameplay mechanics challenge for transit to manage, rather than just kind of like plunk down the thing that you know that works for pretty much every city and just like let it go. And I love that. I love that it sounds difficult, at least more difficult. I assume somebody out there, I don't know if you guys know this, but there are some keeners that play City Skylines, and sometimes people go hard. And I assume they'll find, you know, a good way of doing things that kind of works no matter what. But it sounds like for us plebs, it's gonna potentially be a challenge, and I'm all for that. Now, here it says each depot can support a predetermined number of vehicles, and this can be extended with suitable building upgrades. So that sounds like you're limited to the number, let's talk about trams. You're limited to the number of trams that you have if you only put down one tram depot. And I think that is maybe a way, my kind of trying to read behind the lines here, that is maybe a way that they're giving like a tutorial almost, or without a pop-up that says words. They're teaching you just via game mechanics what a normal amount of stops is, or maybe a normal length of a line is. Again, I don't have any experience prior to City Skylines 1, right? So going into CS1, I had no idea what a normal tram line looked like. I had never been on a tram before. So I could have just plopped one that went all the way through my city and had 54 stops. But with this, if one depot only gives you so many vehicles and you plunk down a line that has 54 stops, it's naturally not going to work. And I think that will be a great way to teach people what a normal tram line or other lines is going to look like. And I think that's great. I'm super happy about that. You know, they talk about somewhere standardizing GUI. Where do I have that? Where do I have that? Wait for it. Wait for it. It might be this one. I don't know. Oh, it's right here. The line tool functionality has been standardized to provide a more simple gameplay loop. Love that. Yes. Please make things simple. Yes. Standardizing GUI. Yes. So good. So good. And then it says to create transportation lines for this, do the tracks first. We already know that. That's easy. Where stops are placed. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. Wait, hold on. Hold on. I have it written down that stops and lines are separate. I'm losing myself here. You need to first build the appropriate depot, then build the stations and lay down tracks. That's done. We understand all of that. Buses traditionally use pre-existing road networks where stops are placed. Great. But you can also create roads exclusively for public transit. That's fine. We've already done that. As well as priority lanes on existing roads. I think we've seen that already, potentially. I don't remember, but that sounds delightful. Priority lanes. I assume that means like bus lanes, right? Once the stops and stations have been placed and connected with roads and tracks, you can create the transportation lines between the stops and stations. Yeah, I think this is what I mean here. So it sounds like you go through and you place down your stops first, and then it talks about placing your lines afterwards. Because for us, coming from CS1, placing your line means placing like these little dots, right? Where the vehicle stops. But it sounds like the bus stop or shelter, like we heard earlier, is different. So maybe we have to put a bus stop there if we want to put a bus line stop there. I don't know, just worded funny, you know? I agree with you very much, Todd. I think that is exactly, and that's only makes business sense to appeal to as many people as you can with a video game, of course. Of course, of course. I don't know, Azwarg, but it's a question. It's a good question. I think the limits are a good thing. I think, I don't know if train tracks are going to unlock later than train depots. Maybe you unlock depots and tracks at the same time, but you have to have the depot in order to have trains actually going, which makes sense. You want that. Is the thing you do an OTTD? OTTD. I don't know what that one is, but okay, that makes sense. Maybe they're taking inspiration from other games for sure. Yes, that is true, Azwark, but I don't think anything that we've read here indicates that it's the same as CS1, you know? Hello, Raiders. Hello, good day. How are you? Welcome in. We are going over the City Skylines II dev diary that was released today. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time saying hello too much because we are recording for YouTube as well, so feel free to say hello to YouTube, but welcome. I hope that you're well. How are you? How is your stream? Thank you for coming this way, Mist. Everybody, please give Mist a cookie. I've heard that Mist enjoys the cookies. So I also have here, when creating a bus line, you can set waypoints, which is a new word to us, that control the route taken by the bus. Warner, thank you for gifting a sub to Mist. Oh, Mist, you're delightful. Hello, JJ. Hello, good day. So this sounds different. When creating a bus line, you can set waypoints that control the route taken by the bus. So it sounds like the bus won't always necessarily go, you know, if you've got a grid layout and you've got bus stop here, you would think it's just gonna go whoop. But it sounds like you could, if you wanted for some reason, you could make it go whoop, 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 but still only have the two stops, which is great. In like a similar way that when you're doing a Google map, you can change your route without adding stops. That's cool. Oh yeah, it shows it right here, of course. Yeah. Allowing it to avoid busy roads or intersections, right. So they're doing exactly what I described here. So there's only bus stops here and here, right? Because none of these are stops. But they want, it looks like in this picture, they wanted to avoid this intersection because it's busy. So they had the bus scoot down a side road. That's fantastic. That's so good. Yeah, great. Love that. And that's very like, it sounds almost educational because that is how it's done out there in that weird place where you touch grass. So I love that. I love that very, very much. Then what is this word? What have I written down here? Oh, I thought the word might say tool, but the word says cool. It's from my notes. Sounds like I wasn't really able to garner anything incredibly insightful from this next bit. I mean, that's cool. We get to even see the airplane lines. That's great. But this all sounds very similar to like what we would expect it to sound like, right? So harbors have to be connected. Airports have to be connected. Everything has to go to an outside connection. Cool. Love it. Can you plop down a district and assign an incinerator to that district? Didn't we get that info already? I never remember what's been talked about out loud. What was I gonna say? Oh, and the other thing that I wanted to say about this waypoint thing, this is a way that we can react to the traffic in our city. So much of right now with CS1 is we paint the city. We put down the roads, we zone the thing, we put in the public transit, and then it's kind of like done. You can tinker a little bit, right? But in reality, it's kind of done. Whereas this, if we have this kind of scenario happening, we might not necessarily know how busy this intersection is going to get. Or it potentially gets busier over time as you zone high density down here or whatever. So we can, without kind of ripping up our entire public transit infrastructure, we can react to the traffic in the city, and I'm very excited. I like that. Page 12, I'm gonna have a wee sip. Going to have a wee sip. Then I think we'll see, I mean, consider how many more dev diaries we have, right? Of course, we're talking about transit now, but, and yeah, Colossal Order came from Cities in Motion, which was the transit video games, but we also have, is it like 10 more dev diaries or something? We have a whack more. So I think there's more to it, but we'll see. I think we won't know for sure until it's out and in our hands and stuff. Page 12. Right. I've gone quiet because I'm very excited. This has me stoked. Yeah. Yeah. If it is what I think we think it is, it has me so excited. Development points in a development tree. Development tree, research tree, skill tree. It sounds like we get these development points somehow, I assume by doing stuff in the city, and then we can spend those points. Each transportation type is unlocked using, so spending development points in the development tree. Yeah! If it is that, it's gonna be real neato burrito. And to me, what it screams the most to me, I think I mentioned it a little bit earlier, but what it screams the most to me is replayability. I wonder if eventually you can unlock the entire development tree. Like, I wonder if you get enough development points to eventually unlock the whole thing, or if they kind of like limit, quote, limit the points that you're able to get, and maybe you can only get so many or something. I guess we'll have to see. Either way though, I think it brings a fair amount of replayability. And yeah, Azork was, yeah, that's where I was just gonna go. That's huge for speedrunning strats. So big, because some of them are gonna be better than others for different things, for either building a city quickly or, I don't know, building a pretty city or building a tourist city or whatever. So neat. So neat. Oh, it's so exciting. Very, very exciting. The replayability alone, if that is what that is so good. So good. Then from this entire dev diary, I think that's my biggest like wee-oo moment is the development points, development tree point. Let me know if it is for you as well, because that's my big excitement boy note. Transportation info view just sounds great. Sounds great for us keeners. For folks who there are a lot of people who like to get into the nitty-gritty and really geek out and really like hone in and focus in on things in City Skylines, and this sounds like it's going to be really useful for them. I think Colossal Order knows their audience, and I think they are catering to them without pandering to them. None of what they are offering us feels yucky so far. It all feels like, yes, this is what the community uses, and this will not inhibit the enjoyment of the game for a casual player. So let's give the keeners this stuff. And so the different ways that you can sort the info view or like that sort of thing sounds perfect for that. Yes, Nash, for sure. For sure. Page 13. So it says you can customize what is shown. Great. Love that. Hello, Groob. We are getting into the dev diary for City Skylines 2 that was released today. We're on page 13 of 16. So we're almost through it. I like that you can customize what's shown. These look like little tick boxes that you can turn on or off. Kind of like in CS1 where you can do like the traffic routes thing and tick pedestrians or public or, passenger cars, that sort of thing. That's great. Oh, yes. So somewhere here, they say, yes, lines can be renamed, activated, and deactivating. So it sounds like you can turn a line off without deleting it, which is really handy. That's great if you want to like test out which version of a line is better, or is it better just to have this one or not have this one? That's fantastic. I'm happy for that. And then it also talks about line usage percentages. And I am curious what the usage means. Does that mean that people travel a certain distance on that line? Does that mean that there's a percentage of seats full? And I think it's answered a couple of pages down, so we'll get to that. As Mark says, game progression. Game progression has 2 interconnected layers. Milestones that give you points to spend in your development trees, allowing you to unlock more advanced services. Delightful. Delightful. Okay, we are on my last page of notes. Here we go. So, I think here it is, so here's the usage percentage, which I'm curious about. I think it's really fun to see the length of the lines. It's kind of probably easy to like lose sight of it when you're placing lines. I know that it is when I'm playing CS1, I lose sight of just how many stops I'm placing and therefore how much bigger the line is getting. So having the length be shown there very simply is great. I'm appreciative of that. And then in here, it sounds like we can also make the line available at daytime or nighttime or both. So we can react to traffic being better or worse at certain times of the day. I wouldn't be surprised by that, Aswar, because you can certainly sort by name, right? That's got to be what that arrow is. So I wouldn't be surprised if you can click on these. Our longer one's better though. I don't know. There's another usage of the deactivation thing. You can draw the transit line before the demand for it exists. True. Oh, great point, Renash. That's a really good point, and I wouldn't have thought of that. Yeah, you can plan out lines while you're waiting for the city to grow, kind of thing. So like place it, deactivate it, and then get ready for when the city grows. Yes, here's the day-night thing. That's delightful. I love that you can do that. And this here answers, somewhere here it answers the usage percentage. Where is it? Line usage? Da 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 da. I don't know. Oh golly. Oh golly. Here. Yes. If a line becomes extremely popular, its usage percentage close to 100%, increasing the number of vehicles can alleviate the pressure. So that to me makes it sound like this usage number is just like the number of people, the number of seats available or not available kind of thing. So if every single seat was taken on this line, it would be 100% usage. If nobody ever took this line and every seat was open, it would be at 0%. That's what that sounds like to me. I gotta read my notes. Talk of adjusting over time shows they want us to spend time in these cities and react to the way the city grows, which, if you take a couple steps, is reacting to the consequences of our actions. So we are going to be building the city from, let's say, 0, and we have decided to do XYZ with our zoning, with our transit placement, with our like job or unique building placement or whatever. And we're going to have consequences of the choices that we've made, and being able to react to that over time, which is, they say somewhere in here, is us reacting to the decisions that we've made to get the public transit to that point. This looks like mini metro. I think I say that in the video. I think it's we'll get a better view of it in the video. We're on the last page. Okay. Oh, the first thing I have written down is, everything is spelt in the American way. What's spelt Americanly here? Oh, favorite. So that's the first thing I've written down there. And then again, I just comment in my notes that it sounds like they're really highlighting the fact that cargo transportation is its own thing. And I think they must be doing that on purpose. So it's good. Anybody else have anything else to say about the written down dev diary? I'm really excited about it. I think it's great. I'm excited also, though, to move on from public transit. Being someone who enjoys making things pretty and that sort of thing, landscaping, I want more. Every dev diary that they do, I just continue to want more. So if we are done with that, we can now go to the video, play it on 0.5 speed, and pause on it. Oh, that's a point, dear. There is no rural airport shown. That is a shame if it's true. It does seem like there is only the one option for the airport, and then you upgrade it with other stuff. And I can't really see an upgrade like down to rural happening. So that is a point. True, Azwark. I don't know. I think we'll get a better feel for that once we start playing it, right? Because yeah, you're right. With these dev diaries, with how much they get into it, I think a lot of it does sound like you can get really nitty gritty with it. But with things like I mentioned with the depots only having so many vehicles, to me, that does seem like a very innate way to teach you how many, like how long to make a line. So it like, and that shows me that they're also thinking about people who don't know what they're doing. So I'm curious. I'm very curious. Yes, Leanne, me too. Yes, we're gonna pause on it. We're gonna pause on it. So here's the video. I'm going to go speed 0.5? I don't know, we'll see. And I think you guys have audio. Yes, you do. Okay, let's do this. So I've got notes for this as well. This is the video that came out today. This is like directly on their YouTube channel. Do I want to make it full screen? Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how that works out, Nash. I think if they are forced together, if the passenger airport and the cargo airport are forced together, traffic is going to be a whole heck of a challenge with that, which can be both great and less great. So the first time that I want to pause is at 0.15. Oh no, 0.11.
Transport networks set the rhythm of life in your city. As they move,
Her voice is going to be a little weird because it's a little slow.
They can create harmony and discord.
Right here. So I want to know, does this tunnel actually look good, or has the person who made the city just tree vomited everywhere all over their tunnels to make them look better, like we did in CS1? Let's take a wee look at the cargo boat. Somebody mentioned, I think it was Azawark mentioned, that they don't love the way that it looks in the...
As they move people and cargo,
can't really see it, but...
harmony and discord.
And it does have an interior.
This
yeah,
finely tuned
absolutely.
Orchestra of
Oh, here's another one. What's this doober? Oh, is that like a little lifeboat type thing, or a little skidoo? I always forget what it's called. I think I don't know enough about boats to make a decision on if I like that boat or not. Oh, my comment for this pause is Dat Skyline. That's it right there, gang. That is the name of the video game. And I especially love this building that's got like the little escape vehicle, right? Dinghy. Very cool.
Vehicles, planes, and trains is yours to conduct.
You know what? With that plane being pink and the boat that we saw earlier being like that teal blue, I would not be surprised if these were based off of the color of the line. I wouldn't be surprised, because that's how it is in CS1 for a lot, if not all of them. But I wouldn't be surprised.
Is yours to conduct.
Oh, got you, Todd.
To create a thriving metropolis, maintain a steady...
What have I got written down here? What is... Oh, I want to know what this building is. They answered on the Instagram. Awesome. Thanks, Akinit. So for anybody... YouTube. That is apparently the case. I want to know what this building is. It's cool. Is it a unique building? I assume it's either a unique building or a service or something, right? Looks neat. I like it.
Speed to keep your city in motion.
She said the thing! She said city in motion! Only true fans will understand. City in motion! Anyways, carrying on.
You build a city from scratch in City Skylines II. No public transport, no tracks, no runway.
Ooh, vertical farm. It does look like the vertical farm from CS1, that's for sure. That's for sure. What have I got written down for this? Shows landscaping into water. Oh yeah! So if we watch this area back, gang, because they're doing like a time lapse, right? And so if we start here...
Transport, no tracks.
Wait for it.
No runways.
So the theory is that this person landscaped that land into existence out of the water. So not surprising that it's possible, but just nice to have a confirmation that it's possible, right? Just nice. Nice, Akina. I also haven't played it yet, but I also own it. And I want to play it before City Skylines 2 comes out. Either on this Twitch channel, on this second YouTube channel, or on the primary YouTube channel. I don't know yet. We're gonna figure it out. Where do I want to stop next? Okay.
Creating these and other transportation networks is a crucial first step. After that, improving and integrating them paves the way for expansion. When you establish your city, citizens can take the bus or...
Oh, right here. They have not yet, Joe. Everything so far has been very transit oriented. So here, I just wanted to point out that in theory, this is... Oh, can you guys see my mouse? There we go. Oh, here we go. So in theory, this is a separate building, right? Because the fence goes there. And the only thing in this building looks electrical. Like power liney, hydro, something. So is that an electricity building of some fashion? Transformer, substation, something. But it could also just be like zoned in industry and I'm just making it up. I have no idea. No clue, but very cool. Very, very cool to like just see it. And also, yeah, the American speed limit, 30, it must be miles. What's that, like 50-ish, I think?
Taxi to get where they're going. These are the first transport options you'll unlock. They're reliable, cheap, and
oh, we can pause here just really quick. So bus, tram, boat, airplane, probably train, probably metro, right? Right. Yeah. When I had a motorcycle, its speedometer was in miles per hour. Everything on it was in miles per hour. And so I had to memorize what 50 kilometers is and what 80 kilometers is and what 100 kilometers is, because those are the common speed limits around here. So 50 is 30. Where do you think that we see taxis? Are we thinking that this is taxis? I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, actually, right? Because they do look separate. Oh, and I think she's talking about placing taxis right now, right?
Cheap and
oh yeah, it said right there, taxi depot. So yeah, taxis are the bus category.
Traffic conditions are their Achilles heel. It's no big deal in a new metropolis.
A pretty city.
It is for a growing
This building is really cool.
That's when you'll level up your public transport. Think trains, trams, and subways. Each one has pros and cons.
Oh, this right here, the way the bus cabins move, there's a word for that little piece in the middle. And I know that people were really ornery about it in City Skylines 1, and I just feel like they look a little more natural now. If you just watch articulated stuff.
Each one has pros and cons.
Yeah, realistic cabbing.
They're all expensive
pretty cool
to build and complicated, requiring depots, tracks, and stops where passengers can buy tickets and get on and off. That means they can't offer the far...
Here. This is where I talk about, oh, I'm in the way. Of course I'm in the way. Let me get out of here. Goodbye. This stuff right above you guys, right above chat. This looks like a mini metro. And I assume that this shows how full or not full those trains are, or whatever they are. And I had no idea when I was playing mini metro that this was like, I assume that means that this is a common graphic that's used for transit type stuff. And I didn't know that when I played mini metro, but cool. Just, yeah, I don't know, looks neat. Where next? Oh, also, right here, 80 passengers for a bus. Sounds a little bit realistic? Well, actually, I don't know. I'm just trying to think about the buses that go around my city. I don't know. Anyways, 80 passengers.
Far-reaching service of a bus line.
Pretty realistic, good.
Or the door-to-door service of a taxi.
What do I have written down for this? Taxi does, oh, that taxi just did a U-turn. Did he just do a U-turn because he got a call? That's pretty cool if that's how that works.
On the other hand, they're more efficient. Not least because they carry...
What does... Oh, I've just got what does that symbol mean? I assume... Because these show you where the vehicles are, but then so does this. Like this looks like a transit vehicle of some sort. So what's the difference between this symbol and this symbol when it's showing you where the vehicle is? Passenger use? But they all have 3 on them. Every single one of them is 3. So the waypoints maybe? I mean, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll find out. Could be intercity instead of regular. That's a thought. That is definitely a thought. There's nothing over here that matches them, right? No, no, no. I don't know. Later on, you spot them with 0. Just a blank white hexagon? Hey, Turnin. Maybe they're just the ones of the line you're editing? I don't know. Front user stops. Let's go. Okay, next.
Cargo and reduce road congestion. Let's start with subways. They're fast.
Wait, was she green?
They're fast.
I don't know.
Start with subways. They're
no, it's just the shade. Okay. So what have I got written down? Oh, yes, right here. Do you guys see efficiency is 118%? I don't know if you guys know this, but that's more than 100%, which means there's a way of getting your efficiency over 118 or over 100%, which is really cool. Comfort is 58, but like, is it 58 out of 100? Oh, I'm in the way. Is it 58 out of 100? I don't know. I love that you can just see passengers waiting at a glance. Overclocked metro, yeah, absolutely. They've got overburner installed. But yeah, I just thought that was neat to figure out. And then yes, as Deer pointed out, most things seem to be talking about the amount of either people or money per month rather than per week. I assume there's a reason for that. Pretty cool. I don't want to pause again for another almost full minute.
Room when they're underground. If they operate above ground, you can run them on elevated tracks so they don't get tangled up with road traffic.
Yes, yeah, that's what that looked like, eh?
They're more flexible than trains, so you can more easily add lines to service new and...
Yeah, we've already seen this. Line usage 37, stops this many, like that many. We've already seen this.
Expanded neighborhoods. Build tram tracks on existing roads or run them on dedicated...
Where do I want to stop here?
Tracks,
244. I'm so sorry.
Way to keep the hustle and bustle dialed up.
Oh, that's placing a bus stop. Yeah. Look at that. Or whatever kind of stop it is. Is this tram? Probably tram, right? So that's placing the tram stop then. And then that's placing the tram line. They are separate thing. Looks like the symbol was moving. Yeah. Brando, hello.
Trains carry loads of people too. And not just suburbanites. They can bring visitors from outside your city in large numbers. Trains play another critical role as
look
cargo.
At this, as work, is us placing, or someone placing, the train depot. And it looks to me like it has the rails with it.
Build a cargo train terminal, and you
the cargo one as well, it kind of looked like.
Terminal, and you build a hub where
those look like train bits to me.
Ship and store incoming.
It does, Brando. Goods. All of it looks so cool.
Water transportation is another.
Oh, there's another view of the boats. Oh, I've double clipped. I'm so sorry. I'm the worst. Cancel me. That looks neat. So I assume that one's cargo, right? And then that one's passenger.
Cool. Option for passenger travel and moving cargo. It's another high-capacity network, though water transport's real potential lies in imports and exports. You see, cargo ships might be slower than trains.
Because I smell, I do. It's true, though. It's true.
1,000 tons of stuff.
Okay, I want to stop right here. Oh, I stop here because she talks about trading with other cities. And why is she emphasizing that? Because, like, we already could do that, I think. I don't know. I just wanted to point that out. Ooh, Warner, that's a thought.
Yeah, that's right. You can trade with other cities. So you'll need
of course you can.
House all the
of course you can trade with other cities.
Coming and going. Easy. Like cargo.
This is so cool looking, though.
Cargo harbors double as cargo storage facilities.
Oh, Kenneth, that's a question, eh? Because we know accidents exist. Here, I just wanted to say that I feel like they're showing a lot of nighttime views, which I think, if I may be so bold to say, they have darn good reason to. This game looks beautiful at night. Holy smokes. Yeah, they're just doing a great job of showing both nighttime and daytime. Nighttime, daytime.
Drawbacks. Planes
if you get that reference,
passengers
get your back checked.
Than ships and
did the red lights turn on there? I don't know. What are you talking about? Let's go here.
Cargo
hello, Yed.
Facilities.
Yes, Joe. Yes, Brando.
Like all of the other networks, air transportation has drawbacks. Planes carry
Did you see what you needed to see, Warner?
Planes carry fewer passengers
right,
and
Nash?
less cargo than ships and trains.
Got it. Ged, how are you? We're doing a deep dive. Oh yeah, right here. Look how gorgeous this is. So pretty. I want to fly there.
Expensive and have the footprint of a small town.
What does this say? Oh yeah, okay. This is my last thing that I've got prepped. Is right back here. Do you guys see this? That looks like I've got it written down as the CN Tower, but if we're referencing CS1 and America, I think it looks like the Seattle Tower or whatever it is. I feel like it's not floating. I feel like you can, maybe my eyes are like making it up. You know, your brain does that, but I feel like you can see very faintly. Do I have this in, oh, I've got it on a 1080p. Are you in 4K? Oh, wow, it's in 4K. I'm actually the worst. Oh, this is so much clearer. But I feel like you can see a little bit of the tower there. Yeah, proper Canadian revolving restaurant. Absolutely. Space Needle. But either way, it looks like a unique building, right? Of some fashion. So you would think unique buildings are coming back.
Air transport has a pretty irresistible advantage. Speed.
Pretty neat.
Plus, planes
That's
won't
just
add
so
to road
pretty.
Congestion. They don't follow a rigid track.
Enhance.
And they make outside connections.
Not enhancing. Oh, that is the line. That is the line color. You can see it right above me.
The transport mix in your city will become complex and interesting.
Oh yeah, here you can see. So yeah, they always have 3 people in them. So it's something, but they always have 3 people in them. So, oh yeah, those are at the stops. So that's what it looks like then, right? It looks like the front view is at the stop. And then the 3 people in it is where the actual vehicle is traveling. Cool.
Use the transportation overview to review passenger and cargo transportation networks separately. Filter again by transport.
I'm so excited about this, gang.
Level details.
Do we want to do this again next week?
And toggle them on or off.
I would like to, please.
Use the transportation
YouTube, subscribe if you want to see this again next week.
Of your networks.
But also, come find me at twitch.tv/toadiezzz to come partake in the conversation live.
Of people and cargo.
Thank you.
Conducted perfectly. And every
what a
citizen,
beautiful shot.
Trader and tourist will march your city toward greatness.
Yeah, we're great. That's that. Gang, that is my take on today's Dev Diaries for public transportation for City Skylines 2. I think there's a little bit of stuff that we discussed reading between the lines. I think a lot of it harkens back to Colossal Order, both entertaining us keeners, but as well as people who are new to the genre. And I think today, like the one thing that was maybe new about today was that it showed a fair amount of replayability. So thank you. Thank you, Twitch, for hanging out and being part of the conversation, and YouTube, thanks for watching on my second channel. Go find my first channel if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up. I'm ending the YouTube video now. YouTube, I love you. You're great. Don't tell your mom I said it, but you're cool.